A father murdered his baby daughter just 2 weeks after formally adopting her with his husband, a court heard. Matthew Scully-Hicks, 31, is accused of violently shaking 18-month-old Elsie, causing her catastrophic head injuries following months of abuse. Cardiff Crown Court heard she died at University Hospital of Wales on the 29th of May, 4 days after the defendant called 999 saying she was floppy and limp. Mr. Scully-Hicks, from Delabole, Cornwall, denies murder. Baby Elsie was placed in the care of Vale of Glamorgan Council just days after being born, the jury was told. At the age of 10 months she was taken in by fitness instructor Matthew Scully-Hicks and his husband Craig in September 2015. The couple relocated from Swindon, Wiltshire, to Cardiff 6 years ago and had been married for 3 years. Matthew Scully-Hicks had given up full-time work to care for any children. 8 months after their wedding the couple completed the adoption process. A fortnight later Elsie was dead. Within 2 weeks of Elsie's formal adoption by the couple, we allege that the defendant had inflicted fatal injuries upon her. Prosecutor Paul Lewis QC said, "Serious injury." He told the jury that on the 25th of May, 2016, the ambulance service received a 999 call from Matthew Scully-Hicks reporting that Elsie was unresponsive. Mr. Lewis told the court that paramedics attended the house and found Elsie was not breathing, with no signs of cardiac output. The injuries that caused her death were inflicted upon her by the defendant shortly before he called emergency services that day, said Mr. Lewis. His attack upon her that day was not the first time he had employed violence towards Elsie, nor was it the first time he had caused her serious injury. His actions on the late afternoon of the 25th of May were the tragic culmination of a course of violent conduct on his part towards a defenseless child, an infant that he should have loved and protected, but whom he instead assaulted, abused, and ultimately murdered. The court heard Elsie had suffered hemorrhages to her brain and behind her eyes, and doctors decided to switch her ventilator off. Hospital treatments. Tests showed there were older bleeds to her brain and behind her eyes. A post-mortem examination revealed Elsie had also suffered several broken ribs, a fractured left femur and a fractured skull. The court was told Matthew Scully-Hicks carried out the alleged attacks on Elsie while his husband worked full-time as a company director. Mr. Lewis told the jury about a catalogue of injuries Elsie had suffered during her short life. In November 2015, 2 months after she had been taken in by the couple, she had fractured her ankle while in the sole care of the defendant, who had given differing accounts of how she had suffered the injury. A month later she sustained a bruise to her forehead which a health visitor advised needed treating. Matthew Scully-Hicks allegedly lied he had done so, the jury heard. In January, Elsie suffered another bruise on her head and in March she was taken to hospital by ambulance after Matthew Scully-Hicks said she had fallen down the stairs. She was discharged from hospital after 4 hours after her injuries were considered consistent with a fall downstairs. The trial continues. Well, that's just really shit.